good enough. One, two, three, four.
Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum.
We are interfaith,
Interspiritual, God optional. So relax and get ready for a celebration. Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum.
one more time now.
Welcome to the church with a two-drink minimum.
Doggy.
Howdy, everybody.
How's your Sunday?
Oh my God, I'm so glad to see y'all.
I know, got some good people in y'all.
I know. Welcome, everybody. Some folks I haven't seen before. Let's see. Kyle and Ayet. There we go. Elliot. Nice to see you.
Yay.
And Connie's here. Hi, Connie. And Sina. I'm so sorry I missed your this morning at the homily. I was off doing another
I was
event.
texting her in my pajamas, which is why I did not come on the screen. So, I had church in my pajamas this morning, and George goes, "Don't you want to say something, Glenn?" And I'm like, "Maybe, but you don't want to see me in my pajamas."
Oh, that was great. I'm so sorry I missed it, but I always love your sharing, Sina, so thank you. Wow. So awesome. Hey, Connie.
Welcome to the middle of the year. We're on lesson 199.
Oh, are we really?
199.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
You want to know what lesson 199 is?
Well, it's one of my favorite things, and I'm going to share a video speaking directly to it. Let's see. It is, I am not a body, I am free.
I am still as God created me.
Yeah, that is so cool.
And she says it really interesting. I'm not a body, I am free. I hear the voice that God has given me.
Yes.
And it is only this my mind obeys.
Yeah.
I hear the voice that God has given me.
Interesting.
I hear the voice that God has given me.
And of course, the voice was capitalized.
Yeah.
So you like to say the voice that likes you. Yeah, which I really like that. And that, to me, of course, is the Holy Spirit. But, well, since we're here, let's just read a little bit. I love the first paragraph. Freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive a body as yourself.
Freedom.
I know.
Freedom
is impossible as long as you perceive a body.
So bodies aren't free.
As yourself.
You can't make a body free.
It's us that's free.
There's all these, like you have Franz in the Holocaust, and then you have Nelson Mandela in South Africa. You have the Zapatistas. You have all kinds of examples of where you cannot you can confine a body, but you do not confine a mind. We have a lot of very, very good examples of that. In fact, a lot of the letters that Paul wrote in the New Testament were from jail. Oh. Did you know that? That that they arrested him. So a lot of those letters that the reason why he's writing those letters to Ephesians and the church and stuff like that is because he was incarcerated by the state.
That's right. Wow.
So it's a very interesting way of saying, freedom. If you're interested in freedom, and we use this term awakening, and we say freedom. So what do we mean when she says, freedom means that you're not a body? Well, that's a really good thing if you can't be captured. Right?
The story of Nelson Mandela is so
This is really
powerful.
inspiring.
Yeah, it really incredibly is. Yeah. I want to say hi to Kathy because it's so nice to
Nice to see
actually
Kathy.
see you, Kathy. Hi, lovely to see you.
So this, she says that she implies that the goal of the reason we do any of this is to experience freedom. And so this examinations of freedom I think are really very interesting in A Course in Miracles because she does it in two ways. She tells us we have freedom too, and we have positive freedoms and negative freedoms. Right? You're familiar with positive and negative freedoms?
No, go ahead and tell us.
A positive freedom would be I get to fall in love with who I want to.
That would be me.
Yeah. So a positive freedom, would be to be able to do something. A negative freedom would be something won't be done to me. Like that would be like a negative freedom would be freedom that I can. I am free to not be locked up because of what I say.
Oh, okay. Right.
It would be a negative freedom. I'm
Okay.
free, So that's the Course itself. So there's things that we want to do that are ours to do, and there are things that we are afraid of as well. And none of those things are about what we are, and neither of those things are inhibit us from what we are to do in the world. Our bodies, we have physical things to do in the world, right? We have a physical presence. And so a negative freedom would be freedom from something, and a positive freedom would be freedom to do something. So you can act on that inner voice. And the negative freedom would be, I am not going to engage in what I know goes badly.
That's very interesting. Like, we've been learning a lot about that. I mean, lately,
Yeah.
certainly.
That's what's on my mind.
Yeah, well, I can see why it would be on your mind. Recently, we were reading where she says, "Do not interfere with others."
Yeah. Don't join with others' fear, and we're going to talk about that today. About how to look at difficulty as an opportunity to recommit to the path.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And I have the perfect sing-along song for this particular lesson because we like to
What are the odds that
this.
Yolanda wrote a song about it?
Well, I mean, we sing it every week, but
You know the words?
This is where it sort of came from.
Yeah,
well, it's based.
it does.
Well, it's based on the lesson. Let things be exactly as they are, but it also references "I am not a body, I am free." So this is a double portion today. So if you know it, sing along with us.
Clap
Here
your
we
hands.
go. Let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change.
'Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
So you and me
will live in peace.
we live in peace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
what anything is for.
what anything is for
Unless I listen to that still small voice.
I have a still small voice
telling me.
It's telling me
this simple truth.
this simple truth.
That everything
Everything is for my good.
So let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
And you can't change.
'Cause you can't change God.
So let things be.
I let things be
Exactly as they are.
exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me
will live in peace.
we live in peace.
And here comes the lesson for today.
Alright?
I'm not this body.
I'm not this body
that you see.
that you see.
I am as God
created me.
He
created me.
And we are all
one
family.
One family.
And it's possible.
Yes, it's possible
to live in peace.
to live in peace. let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
You can't change me.
You can't change me.
You can't change.
'Cause you can't change God.
Let things be.
Let things be
exactly as they are.
Exactly as they are.
And you and me.
And you and me.
We'll live in peace.
We live in peace. Kumbaya. I know. I am not this body
that you see.
That you see. I am as God created me. And I'm going to start saying this part too.
Okay.
I hear the voice that God has given me. And it is only this voice my mind obeys.
Yeah.
It is only this voice my mind obeys.
Bringing it back
The
to
word of
self-inquiry,
God.
right?
I know.
Simon? Like, really bringing it back, you know. To whom did this thought arise? To whom did this arise, you know?
What is the belief that produces this thought?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And, you know, that always leads me back to I am, God is, and I really...
And all is.
And all is well. And I love that, just, again, that simple meditation, I am, God is, you know, that really calms me and soothes me and gives me a place to be, to just live in, you know. It's something that I actually do as I go to sleep at night because it really centers me and puts me in that lovely place. So
I think it's a good description of freedom.
Oh yeah, I am,
you know.
I am.
Freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive yourself a body, because the body is a limit.
The body is a limit. Who would seek for freedom in a body looks for it where it cannot be found. The mind can be made free when it no longer sees itself as in a body, firmly tied to it and sheltered by its presence. If this were the truth, the mind would be vulnerable indeed.
Right, and that's another reason why she uses the prison metaphor a lot. You know, in the Course in Miracles.
Yeah, she does actually.
You've imprisoned your mind. You've imprisoned your mind inside of a body, and that's not what reality is. You know, so we can use our own observation skills at observation, our own self-inquiry, and be able to see through it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But tell us about that. We're going to begin with.
Yeah, well, we're going to do our Circle of Love meditation, and then we're going to follow that with a video of mine that Sina's going to play for us. And this video is a song I wrote called "You Are an Idea in Divine Mind," and I've shared it before, but again today I thought it was particularly significant. And it's a video that we filmed at my dad's gravesite, where both my parents are buried now. And this is in Tuscumbia, Alabama, where the town where Helen Keller was born. And that was a very special day, actually. Glen and I were there. And it just so happened, we had rented a car that day, and it just so happened that that car was a Mustang convertible.
We got upgraded.
We did. And a Mustang, this very color Mustang convertible was the very first car that my dad gave me when I was 16 years old. So it wasn't this exact car, but a Mustang convertible. But it was just so funny that we got that, and then we drove up into the grave, and I had always wanted to visit my grave, as myself, visit my dad's grave as myself, and sing a song there.
It's even in one of your lyrics.
It's in one of the lyrics to one of my songs, yeah. And so we did that. So it's something that's intimate, and I like to play it for you when this lesson rolls around, because it means an awful lot to me.
Singing "You Are an Idea" in a funeral, in a cemetery, is an interesting concept.
It is.
You Are an Idea, singing it in a cemetery.
So let's go into the stillness. In the stillness there is hope. It lights the way as I travel far to my certain goal of oneness with love. So let's take 3 breaths. I'll ring the bell 3 times. And on the last breath, let's exhale together on an Om. Okay? Here we go. Right here, right now, in this Zoom meeting at Awakening Together, on the radio and in this room, and to everyone that's listening and participating, we are co-creating a circle of love. And we cannot help but do that because we are made of divine, unconditional love. That is what we are made of. Therefore, let us feel that love and let it bubble up inside of us. Let's listen to the voice of love in everything that we do. And let's just know that that love is overflowing and spilling out into our spaces that we occupy right now, and into our buildings or our neighborhoods and our towns and our states, our country and our world. And we just extend this circle of love in a knowingness that everything and everyone is included. Everything that we like and everything that we do not like is included, because we are all one and everything in life is holy. So in this circle of love, today we acknowledge and we know that we are seated on land that once belonged to our Native American ancestors, and we honor, in where we are right now in New York, the Lenape tribe, and when we're in our home in Vermont, we honor and know the Abenaki tribe. And we honor and know all of our Native American ancestors in this country that we live in. We also know and we acknowledge that Black Lives Matter and Black trans lives matter. And we acknowledge and we know that human consciousness is shifting, and that we're living through this amazing time of consciousness shift. And that we know that we are not a body, we are free, we are still as God created us. And we are an idea in divine mind. Blessed be, and so it is.
You are an idea in divine mind. You are an idea in divine mind. We are not these bodies that we think we are. We are an idea in the mind of God. What does that mean? Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, what does that mean?
sensations that we crave. We're not our experience, although we take them to our grave. What does that mean? What does that mean? You are an idea. You are an idea. Every bee and bug and tree and plant is made of love. Every creature in the sea and birds that fly above are an idea. You are an idea. You are an idea. You are an idea. I am an idea. We are an idea. You are an idea. I am an idea. We are an idea.
Give you a thing. Okay.
Yay! I love that. You get all get your
yes.
groove going.
Oh man! Well, another interesting thing about that song was not the video, but the song itself. When I recorded it, Glen was doing the dance of the Naraya. He was dancing the Naraya, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard about dancing the Naraya or not, but why don't you share a little bit about that?
Well, every year there's this thing called the Dance for All Peoples. It's called the Ghost Dance. It was started by the Lakota. And they dance for world peace every year, and it's by an invite only, and you have to go and be screened, and it's sort of a powwow that's for white people and Native people and Native American people, in which we dance, in which the white people, all peoples, it's a dance for all peoples, where all peoples come together and do Indian, specifically Lakota, a ritual around creating peace on earth. So you literally dance for like 12 hours, like 8 to 12 hours a day, and repeat and do mantras and meditate for like 4 days. And it's changed my life a couple of times. It's very, very powerful. So I'm at the Naraya singing for world peace, and Yolanda was cutting this album at the same time, and she ended up sampling one of the songs that I was singing actually at the things. Yeah,
it was full of different samples, and so the other funny thing about it was that this all was taking place in upstate New York. I was recording at,
we were practically down the street from each other
at a retreat center in upstate New York, and he was dancing the Naraya in upstate New York, very close by, and I guess the energies just synchronized.
Yeah, we didn't plan this.
We didn't plan it, but it wound up having influence, on what each other was doing. It was really cool. I want to say hi to Grace the cat.
I know. Grace. We have her sister.
We have her twin sister Grace.
Well, actually, probably, I don't know,
she's
2 or 3
a twin,
of them.
But
she's enough for 3 cats.
She's a
I'm
big
sure.
girl.
But, yeah, so it's really, the oneness and the synchronicities and all of this really do begin to show up in our lives when we're able to see things differently. We begin to, like Yolanda was saying, you are an idea. What does it mean to like walk around as that, as a defining article about yourself? When you said when someone says something about you, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You goes, oh,
I'm an
her,
idea.
she's an idea, just an idea.
In the mind of
that's not how we operate. That's not really where our minds go with this idea. With this, I am an idea.
In divine mind.
In divine mind.
Yeah, I like to say the whole phrase
So
because
what does that feel like and what does it look like? Well, the first thing that she really tells about in this section, this 19, is that we get on this path and there comes a time when we get kind of scared, right? Something new will happen. Right, you've changed your life. You have an awakening. You go down different streets now. You talk differently. You maybe you're eating differently.
I am.
The world.
Actually,
The world ends up responding to the changes that you made in yourself, your growth or your awakening or whatever, and new things begin to happen. And in fact, in the beginning, you'll notice that when we get on this path, something that we started on a long time ago kind of hits us, and we have to deal with something from the past in a new way. Remember talking about that? When we get on this path, when we get on this path of spiritual awakening, we become committed to our own greater understanding and dealing with reality. What often happens is something that happens from our past, our own conditional thinking, will have to be dealt with differently, right? Because your mom will call and she'll trigger you in all the old ways, and you're going to have to do it differently, right?
oh, that's so funny.
That's part of that, because this is a little bit different. This is when things are going well. This entire chapter is about recommitting to the path. Because sometimes it's easy to be, things are going like Yolanda and I were talking. There's synchronicities and everything's going marvelous. Well, it's not always that way.
Yeah, not always.
Sometimes friends drop away.
Yeah,
Right?
truly.
Sometimes people die. Right? Sometimes there's betrayals or this stuff. All things have to be like we let go and it goes away. Right? You ever let go of a friendship and it went away?
Yes, truly.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I
was
blocked on Facebook, actually.
Yeah, I know. See,
oh well. C'est la vie.
When we get on this path, there comes a time when we have to know how to deal with our own upsets along the path, our own difficulties on the path. Because we don't suddenly become smooth. It doesn't suddenly become smooth sailing forever.
Right.
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 So this section we're going to talk about now is how her response to what happens when you encounter difficulty on the path. How do you manage and work with a difficult situation that comes into path? Because we have to grow and change, and actually, if you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you begin to do better, your world begins to change, and that causes things in your life to change. How do you deal with the changes that your awakening has caused?
Ooh, I'm kind of excited. I like that. Let's see what.
Fun, right?
Oh yeah. We're saying hi to everybody.
So,
hi everybody. Once again.
So this is from chapter 17. It's called Forgiveness in the Holy Relationship. Forgiveness in the Holy Relationship is about what I've been saying. What do you do in response to a difficult situation? It's like recommitting, doubling down, recommitting to the path, recommitting to awakening. Okay, because we're about to go into the cave, right? You're about to meet your own. In chapter 18 is you're meeting yourself, right? So we are on the edge of all of that big come to Jesus moment, right? Okay. in the hero's journey. So this is called setting the goal, and it's no accident that she talks about forgiveness and the holy relationship. This is a relationship, and getting into it and understanding our reality as a relationship can be quite helpful, especially when identifying a hurt or identifying a suffering and being able to address it in a healthy way, our own and others. But read this piece.
Okay, I'm going to, but first, I want to Put it back up because I want to share it with people like exactly where we are, so that if they want to, follow along, they can.
Oh well, and the two images are your favorite 4-piece band and a shrug emoji.
Okay, shrug emoji. I'd never seen that before.
Shrug emoji and your favorite 4-piece band.
Yeah,
okay, because they work. It's a tight band. Everybody's working
because we all work together. Okay, so we are on chapter 17, which is called "Forgiveness in the Holy Relationship," and we're in section 6, setting the goal.
Setting the goal.
And this is what we've highlighted. Okay, the setting of the Holy Spirit's goal is general. Now he will work with you to make it specific. You do not yet realize their universal application.
Right.
Specific guidelines.
Specific
he provides.
guidelines.
There are certain very specific guidelines he provides for any situation, but remember that you do not yet realize their universal application. Okay.
Right. It's good advice. So she's talking about first. Let's talk about applying guidance from Holy Spirit. First off, in the first paragraph, let's set some things aside and let's talk about you're in this situation first of all because you don't know guidance when you hear it. So we need to be shoring up you're overlooking the Holy Spirit's guidance. Okay? So we're going to clear up some misunderstanding here. How does the Holy Spirit? How do you know it's Holy Spirit's guidance? When it's really simple. When it's unequivocal and clear and unambiguous. Right? That's the Holy Spirit.
And for me, that feels like
and it's calming
intuition.
And cool and peace and it's like relaxing and it. It's good. It's simple, unequivocal, which means clear and unambiguous. And the general thing that she's talking about is the general goal, is the general setting, moving from the specific to the universal. Now, this specific problem is be nice to, be nice to somebody. That's good advice to everyone. Don't just be nice to people that you're attracted to. You want to be nice to everyone, right? So that's an example of specific and general. If you learn that your life is better when you're nice to people, you're nice to everyone, not just the people that can get something from, right? That's the idea of moving a specific lesson from the specific to the general. And that's what Holy Spirit is just trying to get us to do. And we have resistance moving the specific advice to the general.
Okay, moving specific to the general. I'm sorry, I'm not following you with that.
Well, there's a specific incident requires for, like she said, it provides specific guidelines. She says specific guidelines, right?
And
those specific guidelines are truly specific for that situation.
Okay.
But the principle of those specific guidelines in specific situations are a universal concept.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or a general concept.
Okay.
That she's applying in a specific situation. But you can understand the specific, but you don't understand the general yet. And she's trying to say, let's get you to the general. Let's get your understanding of when I say, or when listening to the Holy Spirit, what that means. What to do with it. And she's going to talk to you because you're having difficulty, because you asked, because you don't know what to do. And hopefully you're doing that all the time. Because hopefully you're not deciding what you want to do. Your Holy Spirit's deciding what to do. Right?
Through you.
So we're learning that process. So we make things difficult. I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's like we crash or we burn or we get raked or whatever. It's like, And so we move away from the voice.
I'm wanting to insert this here because you've been going through a very specific learning in our neighborhood, on the street and everything. So how can you share a little bit about that and how that's changed and how this reflects into that?
I have learned specifically about what is mine to do in the world. And we're going to come, what is mine to do in the world, and having faith in God's relationship to you. So
perfect.
we talk. I joke in class that I have to remember to write "I am not your teacher" on the inside of my glasses when I go out into the world at times.
Because you want to wag your finger.
I got to wag my finger at people, and tell them to stop littering and park better and everything like that.
So this has been a very clear thing for you.
The specific and the general are really helpful in learning that lesson. The specific is the specific people that are doing, and the general, it's like, oh, the general message is have faith in God's plan for your life, and that if I'm needed, I'll be instructed on something to do regarding that, but not
Right.
Oh,
hey, George!
Hey, yay! Oh no, about to get a full house here.
I know.
Oh, so read the next piece.
Okay. What do I want to come of this? What is this for? The clarification of the goal belongs at the beginning, for it is this which will determine the outcome. In the ego's procedure, this is reversed. The ego does not know what it wants to come out of the situation. It is aware of what it does not want, but only that. It has no positive goal at all, and makes no sense until it is already until the situation has already happened. And then you look back at it, try to piece together what it must have meant, and you will be wrong. Looking back at the past and trying to
you're snapping all of you.
And now the only judgment left to make is whether or not the ego likes it. Is it acceptable, or does it call for vengeance? The absence of a criterion for outcomes set in advance makes understanding doubtful and evaluation impossible.
Okay, you got that. It makes evaluation impossible. It makes freedom impossible. You can't evaluate it, so you can't choose freedom.
Okay.
So, what do you, so how should you approach a problem? She says it right there. How should you approach a problem?
What do I want to come of this?
I know.
What is this for?
How should we be approaching anything? What is it for?
Asking.
Right. What?
Asking.
These are questions, right? What do I want to come of this? What do I want to come of this? That's why I did the emoji. Well, if you don't know, then somebody else is choosing. Because I guarantee you that other people have agendas.
Right.
Other people want things in the world. Either you're working for what God has to do for you, or you're working for somebody else. Right? So this clarification of the goal determines the outcome. And this is the creative process. And the creative process, as you know, has been studied to death. The creative process is you have to know where you want to go. The question, what do I want to come of this? Okay? That's step one. You have to know where you want to go. And the second step is you have to know where you are, what you have and what you don't have. You need that evaluative function. And that is, so you'll be able to say, what am I, what's going on, being in the moment, right? Being able to evaluate the moment correctly. And the third step is the second question. What is it for? That brings us, so this tension of where we are now with where we want to be, or the thing that we want to experience, right? This what is the goal of this situation? That's what she's talking about. With that as the goal, we can describe where we are. The tension between those two is, what is it for? What is it for? What are the things that are in front of me that move me toward where I want to be? Or enhance where I am. You can think of it a million different ways. It is, and this is the creative process.
So could you give me an example? I mean, like, you go to
school. I want to be a doctor. So you have to say, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know how to be a doctor.
Okay.
So I don't have doctoring skills, so I need to go get doctoring skills.
Okay.
What is this for? Is the textbooks and the classes and everything like that you have to get up every morning for 4 years and go become a doctor. You can't just want to become a doctor.
Right.
You have to be able to evaluate, I need to pass this test, I need to move through these things, I need to learn this stuff. That's what this class is, to help you become a doctor.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's understand that we are always in the creative process. And that difficulty arises when we abort the creative process. Because God is creating through us. And when we abort the creative process, what we are effectively doing is shrinking and trying to take down and control. That's the ego, right? The ego's procedure is just let the situation happen. The ego's procedure is to not really, is to just say, well, do I like it or not? Did I like the outcome? Was it pleasurable? Did I get what I wanted? Or should I get back at somebody? Right? Does somebody have to be punished? Right?
Right. If somebody has to be punished, then
so the only thing the only thing ego wants to know about the situation is, does somebody have to be punished, or did I look good? Was it fun? Was it fun and I look good? And does anybody need to be punished? Right?
Okay.
So that's
Wow.
not the creative process
Right.
at all. Are we getting there? Okay. This ego's perspective, it does give us a clue that we do have a search for meaning.
Oh.
Our judgment of the past and what it's for and all this is pretty terrible.
Right.
But that endeavor, that natural tendency is the search for meaning. We tend to put it in the past instead of the present, which is what she's trying to get us to do here. With a difficult situation, you want to say, oh, I've abandoned the creative process. I'm searching for meaning where there isn't any. So read this next piece.
Okay. Huh.
I know, it's fun.
Okay. The value of deciding in advance what you want to happen is simply that you will perceive the situation as a means to make it happen. Okay. The true becomes what can be used to meet the goal.
I love that.
The false becomes useless from this point of view. The goal of truth has further practical advantages. Truth, sanity, and peace. Truth comes of itself. If you experience peace, it is because the truth has come to you. The ego believes the situation brings the experience. The Holy Spirit knows that the situation is as the goal determines it and is experienced according to the goal. The Holy Spirit knows that the situation is as the goal determines and is experienced according to the goal.
Yes, experienced according to the goal. You experienced, there's the word. It is experienced, we experience it according to the goal that we've set for it. Like, I'm doing this just to upset myself. I just doom scrolling just to upset myself.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I pick up my prayer and meditation book. Or I pick up Ramana Maharshi and do my homework. You know?
Well, I'm doing my homework. And you are getting to the benefit of it, aren't you? Oh, I love it.
So what's the value of determining in advance? Well, what do you want to come of this? There's the question. There it is again. What do I want to come of this? What is this for? Well, she says, if you do this correctly, if you understand this concept and apply it in a healthy way, you'll overlook what interferes with the goal. You don't need to stop anybody from littering.
Why don't you turn that? I don't need to stop anybody from littering.
Because I'm not there yet. No. I just follow them and pick up after them. That's what
This is
doing.
such a funny thing because this is what he's been experiencing on the street. And it's a great lesson. So, Okay, there you go. Go back to it.
Well,
Okay.
if you've ever walked behind someone on the street and watched them pull things out of their purse and just drop them onto the sidewalk,
Right.
you might. I had an experience where I nearly,
Really, yeah, exactly.
But so anyway, so that's what. How do you? This is like a mindset, isn't it? It's like a lifestyle, isn't it? So the value of deciding in advance determines two things: what do I want it? What do I want to happen? What are these things for? The result is I overlook what interferes with my happiness, and I get to concentrate on what works or what helps or what the voice is telling me to do. The goal is truth and sanity.
Yes.
The goal is your freedom. Truth, sanity, and peace. Those, I think if you have truth, sanity, and peace, you're free.
Yeah.
And that's, she starts out this. If you want to be free, you want to be free? You want to be full of truth and sanity? You want to live in a peaceful mind of God? Then what we'll do is live in a mind that says, be in the present, looking for what is ours to do, and not creating meaning where there isn't any. There are two experiences. There's two experiences that she offers here. Just two. There's two experiences. The Holy Spirit is going to offer you. You are happening to the world. That's what the Holy Spirit's lesson. This voice that likes you. This voice for freedom in your head. The voice of the mind of God says, You are happening to the world according to the goals that you set. They can be, really wonderful, incredible goals, and they can be very, very destructive goals. And we've probably been on both sides of that equation, right? You are happening to the world. That's the truth. But what does the ego tell us?
the world is happening to us.
I know.
And we have no control. There's nothing you can do.
Because remember, that's the ego's procedure. Oh, well, nothing to do. Sucks to be me. You know, this just happened. I don't know.
Right.
All right. Not taking responsibility for your thoughts and actions that create the experiences that you want. We have difficulty because we do not pay attention to the voice in our head that likes us. We do not pay attention to reality. We are not even paying attention to the specific lessons we are giving that are actually generalized lessons. So this is where how she tells us to put these things together. She says,
the goal of truth requires faith.
That's very interesting. Faith is not something that A Course in Miracles talks about very much, especially when you talk about overcoming a difficulty. But it's the essential, I think, is the essential ingredient with overcoming difficulties is faith, because you can say, even if I have faith in in God's own ability to work in my own life, I can look at your life. I can look at the community. I can look and say, God works in your life. The goal of truth requires faith. I want that goal. I have the goal of truth, so that I have to have the belief that it's possible to have or see or acquire, that things are working for my good. It's that crux, that mustard seed is important. Faith is implicit in the acceptance of the Holy Spirit's purpose. Implicit. Faith is implicit in the acceptance of the Holy Spirit's purpose. Remember, you're the assignment. All the Holy Spirit, God has assigned you to the Holy Spirit. And the goal, the Holy Spirit's goal is to wake you up. The goal establishes the fact that everyone involved in it, right, the goal of truth, is part of the accomplishment. Every individual, everyone is involved in creating peace. Everyone.
Oh, that goes back to my circle of love.
General.
Whether we like it or not, or we know what's going on.
Everyone's involved.
I don't know what anything is for. I don't know what anything is for.
Right.
Everyone
is inevitable.
Here to play their part.
And this is why you can't fail.
Got it.
She says it very simply. This faith in everybody's doing their part, like the 4-piece band, the ensemble. You don't have to play all the instruments. You just need to play with everybody else. Right? You don't even have to teach other people how to play. You just have to play with. You have to play your part.
Right.
In the wholeness, in the mind of God. Confronted with this aspect of the situation that seems to be difficult, right? Because that's what we're dealing with. We're doubling down. We need additional commitment. The ego will attempt to take the aspect elsewhere. If the ego views the situation as it wants to chop it up and isolate and give you a fantasy solutions. And she says, fantasy solutions bring about the illusion of experience and the illusion of peace.
Right.
See, the Course in Miracles warns us in this last paragraph. She says, I know you're tempted to solve the problem by isolating. I say, well, if the problem is that I'm shy and I'm in the groups, I'm just going to be alone all the time. And the solution is just to be alone. The solution it is not ever going to be isolation. Or chopping things up. Right, I'm going to separate everything out. I'm going to separate the past from the future, from the now. I'm going to separate out all the parts, and I'm going to study and create all this like everybody's operating independently of each other. Like there's no oneness whatsoever. All these components are cooperating together. The environment, your past, your friends, everything is. There isn't two things, right? We talk about this all the time.
Right.
There aren't two things happening here. There's only one thing happening here.
Right.
So how are we paying attention to and participating in this experience we want, this goal that we have? She says the idea is to have faith in others. Have faith in
yeah.
the role of the Holy Spirit in their lives. Have
Right.
faith in the orchestration and the oneness that we are part of. Have faith in the web that we can feel and that we know and hear. The role of this faith in the Holy Spirit is our own purpose. I believe in your purpose. I believe in the purpose of the world. I believe in us growing up. I believe in your awakening, in my greater health. Faith in this perspective. Faith in this situation as a whole thing. Faith that everyone's playing their part.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing the best they can. You know, and that's got to be the right thing to happen, or good enough. However we want to do this. And so we can't fail. The temptation is really to segment reality, to solve a conflict through fragmentation. You know, like any situation, it has parts, and there are good problems to solve that you can solve this way, but they're not spiritual problems; they're mechanical problems.
Yeah.
Take apart the engine to figure it out, isolate all the parts, and figure out which one doesn't work, and then put it all back together. That's the material world. That certainly works, but that doesn't work in your mind because that's not how wholeness works. It's turn a difficult. We have a temptation to isolate from it in a difficult situation, or try to do it all ourselves. It's another version of isolation. We're going to bootstrap it, right? The temptation is to believe that suppression is healing. That if we can put everything down and isolate that feeling, or chop it up, or move it up, if we can not express it, we've healed it, and that's not true.
Right.
The temptation to believe suppression is healing.
Ooh.
It's fixing symptoms instead of causes
Yeah.
when we have a difficulty. So we shove the symptom down and don't deal with the problem. We do it through isolation, and we do it through chopping things up. And she calls this bringing the illusion of experience. She calls this the illusion of experience and the illusion of peace, which is just stagnation.
Yeah.
So be warned that when nothing's happening, something's gone wrong.
Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Can you?
Well, the way
say
I
that
think,
again?
no, the way I think about it.
Okay.
So this moment is alive and full, like Sina was saying this morning. The emptiness feels like fullness. So it's like when nothing is happening, there's something wrong. Because God is moving. I don't know how to...
I'm not sure what you mean by nothing is happening.
You can't stop. There's no stopping. There's no becoming unalive.
True. Exactly.
Right. You can't not be alive. You can't not exist. You can't choose non-existence.
Right.
That's suppression. That's isolation. That's stagnation.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So the temptation is if we can cut off all that stuff, we can not experience. That's a solution to the problem. Because often when we think of when we say I don't want to suffer, what we say is I don't want to feel.
Right.
What we think is I don't want to feel.
Okay. Got it. Let's leave it there.
Okay, leaving it there. All right. There we are. You're in church with a 2-drink minimum, and I'm your favorite anarchist preacher. I'm glad you're here.
Yay! Can I get an A, human?
Hey, human.
All right.
All right. Tell us about this next song, sweetie.
Well, first of all, hi, I'm Irvin Yolanda.
Love of my life, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the races later. We're dressing in black and white.
Black and white.
I know. We're not.
And I like to write songs based on these lessons. So anyway, today at the end here, I just thought I'd give you a little hashtag blessed because I just really enjoy this song. Actually, there's the lesson that says I am blessed as the Son of God, and so I interpreted that, and I also was reminded of the Desiderata. Do y'all remember the Desiderata? I'm probably way older than everybody else, but in the 60s it became very popular. It became a song on the radio, and the thing that made so much sense to me in the Desiderata was that I am a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. And I've always loved that phrase. So I've incorporated the Desiderato with the lesson, I am blessed. And I'm going to ask Sina to share that video with you now with my friend Doreen Young Alive, who I love to sing with, at a Unity Church of Norwalk, Connecticut. So here we go.
And let's give it up for Reverend Glen Ganaway. I am blessed as the child of love. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. I have a right to be here, and the universe wants my happiness, perfect joy and contentment. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. 'Cause you are blessed as the child of love. You are blessed. You are blessed. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and the universe wants your happiness, perfect joy and contentment. You are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. Sing it with us. One more time.
Alrighty.
Oh, thank you, George. I appreciate that. Well, thank you for being here with us at church with a 2-drink minimum. I love Sunday afternoons 'cause I get to see
My
you.
friends.
And of course, we love Reverend Jacqueline, so we're gonna stay and play TED Talks and conversation. Woo! Oh, cool. Oh, let's see.
Alrighty, I can do that.
So we
Thanks.
are going to leave you now, but we're going to stay here. And Glenn is typing something there. Okay, there we go. And so now we'll give up the mic because it's 6 o'clock. Go ahead. Bye.